Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Prabhupada, and welcome everyone in the Prabhupada Disciples Association, Hare Krishna Society, and people aspiring to join us in this regular weekly sadhana program and aspire to become Prabhupada disciples. Yes, because we are still in the process of recruiting people to take up this mission as disciples of Srila Prabhupada. A lot of times people refer to us as Ritviks, and we've talked about this before. We're not Ritviks. We're Prabhupada disciples. It's very important to understand this point. And by the way, disciple, what does disciple mean? What does disciple mean? Well, first, you're a student. That's what you are. You're here to learn from the professor. And in our particular case, we are advocating that Prabhupada is the Siksha, Diksha Guru in our society. He is both the instructor, the teacher, and he is also can take the role in his Vani incarnation as your Diksha Guru. Now, this is a controversy that's raging amongst the neophytes that are propagating Krishna consciousness for their own personal gain or personal material success. And this happens in most movements. It doesn't matter whether it's in the Krishna movement or in the Mayavadi movement or in the political movements. Everybody is striving for material success. Yes, because the material world, it promotes this type of false ego motive, false ego purpose. It's all on the mental platform. And think about it, everyone. What is the value of thoughts? What are they? Do they have any value? Only when they're directed towards Krishna do they have value. If they are not directed towards Krishna, they're meaningless. I was recently in Mexico with a friend of mine in Yotepec, and he suddenly got a disease. You know, I've been going there for a couple of years to see him. He was encouraging me. He called his place Casa Goloka. And then recently, in November last year, he wasn't feeling well, and then suddenly he was stricken with all kinds of cancer. He had cancer of the colon, cancer of the kidneys, and cancer of the lungs. And eventually he had heart failure and he died in front of my eyes. I have pictures of it. I go to them every time I refer to photos I sent to people. In my catalog of photos, I see all these pictures of him, Prabhu, in a very sad state. But people think, oh, I won't die. Your death can come at any moment. It's like the turning on and off of a light. Let's do it. Let's see if we can get this. Watch this. There it is. Light off, light on. That's the material world. It's very temporary. So we have to understand who we are. We're students, we're disciples. And not only students, disciple, Prabhupada said, also means discipline. You have some kind of focus. That's why we promote in our program the qualifications for becoming a Prabhupada disciple is you have to attend our classes 3 times a week. Why? Because we read from the unadulterated, unchanged books. And this is a great disease that's taken place in this society called ISKCON, that they've changed all the books. And actually, I was just, Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu, I was just talking to Abhimanyu, and he was in North Carolina at the archives, and they were telling him there were 7 layers of editing done on Prabhupada's books. 7. Not just Jayadvaita, a whole gang of people took up this role thinking they were big scholars. Scholastic understanding of this philosophy is not the reality of it. The understanding is that you surrender by discipline to the spiritual master and follow his rules and regulations. So, for example, and I was speaking to Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu yesterday, and he asked me, he said, by the way, could you mention about kirtan in your opening remarks? Because the kirtan is supposed to be conducted with kartals and mridanga. When you read that section in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there were 16 kartals, 4 mridangas, and a few people leading the chanting. That was the system, not with harmonium. Now we see this one devotee, some kind of Swami guy. I don't know who he is. He's been doing it forever, so everybody thinks, well, okay, he's been doing it. He must be great. Well, it's a business. You get to live free. You've got free food. You've got people to clean your underwear. You've got all kinds of services. You got a free apartment. And you could travel around the world. You get free tickets. And what do? You take a accordion. He's got this accordion and this fancy headgear. He looks a little bit strange. You know, I'm sorry to say, but it does. Ordinary people would look at it and go, what's this? This guy looks like some kind of clown. But he's carrying on with this care. Oh, what a great... That's not the rule. That's Sahajiism. You change things, and that changes everything. One should be disciplined. Hear from the spiritual master and try to repeat, not change the philosophy. We hear all these people preaching. I saw a video recently of a fellow, what's his name now? Radhanath somebody from Vrindavan, New Vrindavan. And he's talking about his history. Oh yeah, when I was in India in 1971, I went to Ayodhya. Okay. And he tells the story about him being in Ayodhya. I was in Ayodhya. I was doing kirtan with all these sadhus. I was taking prasadam with them, and I was doing I, me, and mine. It was all about him. That's like his book, Journey Home. I have a copy of it somewhere. I don't know. I didn't burn it anyway. I've got it. I saved it. But I saw Henry D., the person that wrote Killing for Krishna and all these books. And he was commenting today on social media how when he met with Radhanath in Pittsburgh one time, he asked him, are all these things you say about your trip to India true? Because they weren't true. He was concocting, he was embellishing, creating these stories for his own purposes. So fraud is something that's very common in the modern world. Everybody's a fraud, especially in the spiritual groups. They're imposters, they're fraudsters, they're changing everything. And in this way, hypocrisy rules in the Kali Yuga, the iron age of quarrel and hypocrisy. So be careful. Everyone should be careful and understand exactly who we are. We're Prabhupada disciples. We're not Ritviks. We use a system called Ritvik, system of officiating. The initiation for someone who wants to become a surrendered soul to Srila Prabhupada through their life's energy. Yes, we have energy. And if we dovetail this energy in Krishna service, under the direction of the spiritual master, we can possibly go back to Godhead. Yes, it depends on the person. And we have history that some of our members have gone back to Godhead, like a Prakrita, Jayananda, other devotees that we know, because they follow a process which was given by the pure devotee, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. We understand we don't change things, we just listen, and we humbly take up the service, and in this way we'll make advancement, gradually, step by steady determination, not come 1 week and then the next week, oh, I can't go, I've got to go make, go do something else. No, you've got to make specific focus in your life, what you want to do with your time. Time is our most valuable asset. And the best use of time is hearing about Krishna consciousness through these unadulterated books that we're reading from, the unchanged books, and then speaking. And we're also in our program, we're including 2 short lectures by Srila Prabhupada. And we're also beginning the class with a group japa. So bring your bead bags. The program starts at 1:45. I'm going to change all of the invitations soon and update them. We have these invitations we send out, and they're quite detailed, but I've got to rechange the schedule because we're evolving this. We have 2 classes, 2 lectures now in the program of Srila Prabhupada speaking. And we've got a new section, Time and Circumstance. We were doing the review of the biography. We've changed that. Well, we finished it. We didn't change it. And we've been reading from the diaries. So you can get some familiarity with Prabhupada's history, right from his authentic literatures, from his books, from his diary. Actually, it's interesting to note that these people, some of these people in India, they're distributing the Lilamrita, this bogus book on Prabhupada's so-called biography on his life, which he never authorized. And we have a book that's coming out which will expose these fraudulent statements by Satsrup about Prabhupada. And I think Yasoda sent me some quotes. I'll use them tomorrow, Prabhu, just to demonstrate how on the mental platform this man was. Not only that, his whole history is a nightmare. Go look at his paintings. You can see them. They're just like bizarre. I would have never joined a movement if it was people like that, ever. I wouldn't have. I joined because of Prabhupada, his books, the Srimad Bhagavatam. I got to associate with these people. Yeah, Tamal and Romeshwar and Keith Ham and M. Radhanath, and I've had personal experience with most of these so-called former big devotees. And if I really understood at that time, because I was so motivated to serve Prabhupada, if I really understand what these people were, I would have never joined. I wouldn't have. They're a bunch of very hypocritical, misleading people. And nowadays it's even worse. They're amassing huge bank accounts, everyone. Don't kid yourself. I put up a picture. I'll finish, sorry. I put up a picture on PDA, our Facebook page, of Prabhupada talking about people that accumulate money in the spiritual business of the guruship. And I put Trivikram up as the picture. Now, we all know that Trivikram didn't fall down necessarily. There is no full disclosure. There is no transparency of financial full disclosure in ISKCON. There is none. They hide the money. Tens of millions of dollars is hidden in these people's bank accounts, like Bibi Govinda and Indradumna and Radhanath. These people are fakes. So I put up Trivikram's. He goes, and someone said, well, this is offensive that you put Trivikram's picture up about money And it's really not about that. Yeah, well, how about it's about illicit sex? He's been having sex with one of his disciples for the last year and lying. Do you think that he isn't lying about his money stash? That he's got money in the bank? Does anybody here disclose their money to other people? No, usually you don't unless you have to. But you stash money. Everybody stashes money. That's the way of the world. Most people have two sets of books, one that they show and one that they don't show. In this group, this movement that they have private bank accounts which are registered in their names, and there's no disclosure. They keep the money. I said, okay, maybe the guy doesn't have a big stash of money, but ask him for full disclosure and transparency. He's in a spiritual movement, so-called. These people are liars, they're cheaters, they're fraudsters, they're jokes, walking around in saffron clothes in the guru business. And that's a hoax. Sounds like a rap song. That's a joke, that's a hoax. So anyway, there you go. We're going to move forward. We're going to have the next section of our program. Ram Raghava, what's the next section now? Is it Prabhupada's speech, or we're doing Jaya Radha Madhava?
Rupa Goswami Prabhu has the first Srila Prabhupada lecture ready.
Okay, so we'll do that. Okay, so let's move ahead with the lecture. Enjoy it, Prabhus. Listen carefully and feel the ecstasy of Krishna consciousness from the bona fide spiritual master. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalang. In the Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu, there is a story, not story, fact, it is described there, that one Brahmin, he was a great devotee. He wanted to offer very brilliant service or chant in the temple worship, but he had no money. But someday he was sitting in a Bhagavad class and he heard that Krishna can be worshipped even within the mind. So he took this opportunity because he was thinking since a long time how to worship Krishna very gorgeously, but he had no money. So he, when he got this point that one can be worshipped Krishna within the mind, so after taking bath in the Godavari river, he was sitting underneath a tree, and within his mind he was constructing very gorgeous singhasan throne bedecked with jewels, and keeping the deity on the throne, he was bathing the deity with water of Ganges, Jamuna, Godavari, Narmada, Kaveri. Then he was dressing the deity very nicely, then offering worship with flower, garland. Then he was cooking very nicely, and he was cooking parvarna, sweet rice. So he wanted to taste it, whether it is very hot, because parvarna is taken cold. Parvarna is not taken very hot. So he put his finger on the parvarna, and his finger burned out. Then his meditation broken, because there was nothing, he was simply within the mind, he was doing everything. But he saw that his finger is burned. So he was astonished. In this way, Narayan from Vaikuntha, he was smiling. Lakshmiji asked, why you are smiling? Then one of my devotees, is worshipping like this, so send my men to bring him immediately to Vaikuntha. So, the Bhakti Yoga is so nice that even if you have no means to offer the deity, gorgeous worship, you can do it within the mind. That is also possible.
We're going to move forward with the chanting of Jaya Radha Madhava. That was excellent, that little clip, wasn't it? Everything is in the mind. Transcendental thought process. We'll move forward with the chanting of Jaya Radha Madhava and then our reading and discussion on Bhagavad-gītā As It Is with Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu, our wonderful godbrother. Hare Krishna.
Sign. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Vihari Jaya Radha Acharya Sri Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gaur Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giridhavan ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadvip Dham ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Tulasi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you from Srimad Bhagavatam 1:1:1. Narayanam namaskritya, Narayanam namaskritya, Naram cheva narottamam, Naram cheva narottamam, Devim Saraswatim Vyasam, Devim Saraswatim Vyasam, Tato Jayam Mudirayet, Tato Jayam Mudirayet. One should utter the means of conquest, Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad-gītā, after offering respectful obeisances, 1, to the personality of Godhead Narayana, 2, to the Narayana Rishi, who is the supermost human being, 3, to the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then 4, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author, from Srimad Bhagavatam 1-4. Welcome, everyone, to this reading and discussion on Srimad Bhagavad-gītā. As we do every week, we read a few selected verses which were introduced by Srila Prabhupada himself when he started to lecture on the Bhagavad-gītā as it is in 1966 in New York. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sugurave Namaham. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayamrupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaguna Raghunathan Anvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master and unto the feet of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, along with his elder brother Sanatana Goswami, as well as Raghunath Dasa and Raghunath Bhatta, Gopala Bhatta, and Srila Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, along with Advaita-Ācārya, Gadada, Srivas, and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates Sri Lalita and Vishaka. E Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. O my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distressed and the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. I offer my respects to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavana. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu, and you are very dear to Lord Krishna. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. It should be noted that this reading is being conducted on the basis of the original 1972 Macmillan edition, the non-edited original authorized edition, non-adulterated edition. Today we will be reading from Bhagavad-gītā chapter 13, text number 21. Karya karana katritve etuhu prakriti ruchyati purusha sukha dukkhanam bhuktritve hiti ruchyati. Karya, effect. Karana, cause. Kartritve, in the matter of creation. Etuhu, instrument. Prakritihi, material nature. Uchyati, is said to be. Purushaha, the living entities. Sukha, happiness. Dukkhanam, of distresses. Bhoktritve, in enjoyment. Etuhu, instrument. Uchyati, is said to be. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Nature is said to be the cause of all material activities and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Purport. The different manifestations of body and senses amongst the living entities are due to material nature. There are 8,400,000 different species of life, and these varieties are the creation of the material nature. They arise from the different sensual pleasures of the living entity, who thus desires to live in this body or that. When he is put into different bodies, he enjoys different kinds of happiness and distress. His material happiness and distress are due to his body and not to himself as he is. In his original state, there is no doubt of enjoyment. Therefore, that is his real state. Because of the desire to lord it over material nature, he is in the material world. In the spiritual world, there is no such thing. The spiritual world is pure, but in the material world, everyone is struggling hard to acquire victims who present different pleasures to the body. It might be more clear to state that this body is the effect of the senses. The senses are instruments for gratifying desire. Now the sum total, body and instrument senses, are offered by material nature. And as will be clear in the next verse, the living entity is blessed or damned with circumstances according to his past desire and activity. According to one's desires and activities, material nature places one in various residential quarters. The being himself is the cause of his attaining such residential quarters and his attendant enjoyment or suffering. Once placed in some particular kind of body, he comes under control of nature, because the body, being matter, acts according to the laws of nature. At that time, the living entity has no power to change that law. Suppose an entity is put into the body of a dog. As soon as he is put into the body of a dog, he must act like a dog. He cannot act otherwise. And if the living entity is put in the body of a hog, then he is forced to eat stool and act like a hog. Similarly, if the living entity is put into the body of a demigod, he must act according to his body. This is the law of nature. But in all circumstances, the super soul is with the individual soul. That is explained in the Vedas as follows: Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakaya. The Supreme Lord is so kind upon the living entity that he always accompanies the individual soul and in all circumstances is present as the super soul or Paramatma. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhaktivedanta Namine Prasannaya Prashantaya Tasmai Shigurave Namaha. Bhagavad Vandanam Khadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Sarkara Yuktam Kadati Visheshataha Adadana Srinam Danteridam Yachi Punaha Punaha Srimadru Papadam Bhoja Dhulishyam Janma Janmani Amsho Bhagavato Smyaham Sadadaso Asmi Sarabhatam Tat Kripa Pikshako Nityam Tat Prishta Sat Karomishvam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In the Vedanta Sutra, there is description, Anandamayobhyasat, that the position of the living entity is that the living entity is originally full of bliss, Satchidananda, eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. But in this material world, we are experiencing a very different situation. We see people who have developed sufficient intelligence can see that there is suffering. So naturally, an intelligent person will ask, what is the cause of this suffering? Especially intelligent human beings who have developed faculties and intelligence as opposed to animals. You cannot invite a dog or a cat to a Bhagavad-gītā class or a Bhagavatam class. A camel, a dog, a tiger, a lion, they do not have sufficient intelligence, sufficient developmental intelligence to understand the teachings. Now, there are stories. Yesterday I saw, there was one story in New Vrindavan that this is Rishikesh, Henry Doktorsky was reading a story how one dog had been trained to chant Hare Rama. During kirtan, the devotees would have kirtan, the dog would pay his obeisances and somewhere or other chant like Hare Rama. We had experience in India, one time in Mangalore, South India, in Karnataka, we had kirtan, chanting on the street, and one dog was following the kirtan party. So we stopped, and the dog stood on his two legs, and he's trying to chant. Now, with the body that he has, he couldn't really say the syllables, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. But you could see he was trying to dance, he was trying to chant. So many devotees have had that experience. But generally, if you tell a dog, come and sit down for Bhagavatam class, Ram Raghava here, he's going to manage the program, and Rupa Goswami, come in here, this is very nice. They can't do that. Why? Because according to the past karma of that individual living entity, he has a body where he cannot understand. He has to act in the capacity of a dog. Interestingly, in Vrindavan one time, let me divert here for a second. This is very interesting. We were near the Keshigat temple. Now, as some of you who have visited Vrindavan, the animals in Vrindavan have a very special position because Prabhupada said after that life, a dog or a hog or a monkey, they go back to Godhead. But some of these dogs have a very, very tough life. This is not like Canada or America where animals like cats and dogs are pampered. They take him to the vet, they give him all facilities, they give him nice cushions, they give him special food. Oh, no. It is not like that in Vrindavan. And if you see a dog, some of them can be quite aggressive, very dangerous, actually. So we're taking a walk with Srila Prabhupada near Keshigat, and all of a sudden, this mad dog is rushing towards Srila Prabhupada, barking and crying. Prabhupada stopped, and we were getting ready, Guru Kripa Swami and myself, to prevent the dog from attacking Srila Prabhupada. So the dog got too close to Prabhupada 5, and the Prabhupada said, hut, 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 and he put his cane in front, and the dog totally stopped. He was completely frozen, and he didn't know what to do. And he bowed down to Prabhupada and turned around and went away. Of course, this is the power of the pure devotee. But generally, living entities in that body cannot act. They do not have the sufficient intelligence to comprehend what we're discussing here. This is very important. Because every living entity is trying to get pleasure. One time I was in Calcutta, there was one gentleman, Mr. Patel. I used to go to his house, and he had a coal company in Bihar, and his offices were in Calcutta. So many of his employees, they would come and talk to me, and one of them every day would take a handful of sugar and jaggery, this molasses, and he would put it in one corner of the garden. And all the ants, rather than come to the house, they would all run because they knew that there is some nice pleasure for us over here. There's a handful of sugar and a little bit of molasses. They went there. Even the ant is seeking pleasure. Every living being is seeking pleasure and trying to avoid pain. But the reality is, dukkhalayam asasvatam, that even though we try for pleasure, there are so many miseries. So many miseries inflicted upon the living being. Just like in Canada, in the north portion of the United States, in the winter, in some parts, it gets pretty cold. It gets pretty cold. And it's not always very pleasant. I'm sure Rochisa Mataji knows that. Vishwakarma knows that in Hamilton. I was born in Quebec City. In those days, it was pretty cold. In the winter, in the late 50s and early 60s, sometimes there would be 6, 7, 8 feet of snow on the side of the road. In those days, the weather was different. Is it a pleasurable condition? Well, they try to make it pleasurable with different games like skiing and hockey and all these things, but it is suffering. It is not pleasurable because the human body wants pleasure. That is the tendency of the spirit soul. We see in the Taittiriya Upanishad, there is a Sanskrit sentence, Raso Vaisaha, that Krishna, the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Brahman, is the source of all rasa, transcendental relationships. But how do we develop that relationship that we can surpass and transcend all this suffering? This is the question that a human being should inquire. This is not mere sentimentality or mere dogma or blind faith. No, this is a scientific approach. This is a very calculated step-by-step approach by which one can practice and gradually elevate himself to go beyond the pain and suffering, the duality of the world. So we see in very cold countries in Northern Europe, Canada, Russia, Northern United States, there's very harsh winters. And then in the spring and the summer, there is a little relief. By the arrangement of material nature, the weather gets warmer. It is nicer, just like if you go in Georgia where Ram Raghava Prabhu and his father, Viprahita Prabhu, the climate is a little milder. It's a little chilly in the winter, but generally the climate is a little milder. It's very nice, very pleasant. So by the arrangement of material nature, there is always some suffering and a little bit of enjoyment. So according to one's past karma, one is put into that situation. I once had a discussion with a gentleman from another religious denomination or specific faith, and he said, well, we don't believe in the law of karma. So I asked him a question that says, look around you. You see these people here? Why don't they all look the same? Why are they not all the same bodily features? Why are they born in different situations? Why are some of them born very beautiful, some of them very ugly? Some of them highly intelligent, some of them very dumb, like me. Ram Raghava is almost a genius, 2 degrees, engineering, medical degree. So the point is, there are differences in situations in life. Where do these differences come from? How do you explain all these differences amongst the different living entities? Why are they not all the same? They cannot explain. Simply sentiment and emotion. But Bhagavad-gītā, look at this text here. This is very detailed. It explains very nicely. Nature is said to be the cause of all material activities and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. The reason why we have this current body in this current situation with a particular set of senses, born in a certain family, in a certain country, in a certain environment, is due to our past activities. And in this life, we can change that direction. We can stop this cycle of constant suffering with a little bit of enjoyment. We can come back to our original position of Anandamaya Abhyasa, the blissful nature. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given the Shikshastakam. In the first verse of the Shikshastakam, he has very nicely explained how by this chanting, Anandam Ambudi Vardhanam. First he starts, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. That this Sankirtan movement, this chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. This cleanses the mirror of the mind, cleanses the soul. Bhava, here the exact translation, thank you. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtana movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Now, this is very important because the mind is always caught up in trying to enjoy, trying to avoid suffering. It's called sankalpa vikalpa. Always trying to avoid suffering and trying to enjoy. This is the duality. And there's always distress in this process. So the benefit of this transcendental process is that one engages in the chanting and the mind can become steady and regulated and controlled so that one can fix the mind upon Krishna. But somebody may say, well, my mind is always agitated. My mind is always hankering. I have family, I have wife, I have children, I have job, I have this, I have that, I have to go on the road. So many disturbances in the material world. What do you do? Well, what does Lord Chaitanya recommend? This is the Shikshastakam. Because in the next verse, Lord Chaitanya explains, Nam Namakari Bavuda Nija Sarva Shaktis, that Krishna has invested all of his transcendental potencies. The next verse, O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings. And thus, you have hundreds and millions of names, like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I'm so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. Now, of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is God himself, is Krishna himself. There's no question of him not being attracted to the chanting of the name, but he's explaining the position of we are in this material world. We have no taste for chanting because of conditioning. Conditioning. We are trying to enjoy with this body, which is very difficult. There was one poet, Govinda Kaviraj. He's playing Kamala Dala Jala Jivana Talamala. That trying to enjoy in this material world is like the position of a drop of water on a lotus leaf. It doesn't last very long. It's very flickering. It's there for a little bit of time and it goes off. This is the position. It's like trying to enjoy in a desert with no water. You're trying to parch your thirst in the desert with no water. How will you do it? That is why the potency of Krishna's name is given. Nama Chintamani Krishna says Rasa Vigraha. It is full of transcendental bliss. That is the position of the name of Krishna. Purna Shuddha Nityamukta. It is complete. It is pure. Abhinatvam Nama Naminaha. The name of Krishna, Nama, is non-different than a Nami. Nami means the person Krishna. There's no difference. But in order to taste that transcendental pleasure, to connect with Krishna, this is the yoga process. The other day, somebody was asking me about the shika behind my head. And I started to say, oh, it's just a hairstyle. And he says, well, is it really? I've seen some other people with that. I said, well, it's also by practicing yoga, we keep that little tuft of hair in the back because it helps concentration. I could see the level of understanding and intelligence this person had. I said, in the practice of bhakti yoga, also called mantra yoga, by chanting mantras, one elevates the consciousness from the body consciousness to the mental consciousness, to the intelligence consciousness, and ultimately the spiritual consciousness. And then that connection, this is called yoga. Yoga means to connect, to link the Atma, the individual soul, with the Paramatma, the supreme soul or the super soul. This is not complicated to understand. It only comes complicated when somebody allows his mind and his senses to be disturbed by personal ambition. The problem, profit, adoration, and distinction. And how does Lord Chaitanya recommend to deal with this? Nadanam najanam nasundarim kabitam vajagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhaktiretu kitvayi. He's explaining from one who is aspiring to progress in spiritual life, progress in bhakti yoga and mantra yoga. One should not desire the common things of this world. Ram Raghava says, here he has it immediately. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless service, devotional service, birth after birth. This is the mindset to adopt, to make progress in the path of bhakti yoga. Of course, nowadays, there's a problem. Some people don't desire beautiful women. They desire underage young boys and young girls. Now, that is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And we've seen this. Many imposters and posers posing as so-called sadhus, so-called renunciate, so-called devotees, pseudo-devotees, engaging in these prohibited, forbidding activities, and still posing like this is perfectly normal, with the support and help from higher ups. Very dangerous situation. But Lord Chaitanya can forgive anyone, provided they take to the path properly, provided they follow the path properly, not exploit the process of bhakti yoga. Now, there's a lot I could say about this, but right now I'll turn over to our good friend Vishwakarma in the studio. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Glories to Prabhupada. It's very interesting to note that being raised as a Christian, yes, I was indoctrinated by the Catholic Church. I went to grade school at St. Peter and Paul and a variety of other schools. I went to Cathedral High School here in Hamilton. So I had this exposure to Christianity, which said that, well, when you die, this is what happens. You go to heaven or you go to hell. That was basically it. Or they had, in the Catholic group, in their catechism class, they explained you go to purgatory. Now, this is some kind of adulteration of the philosophy that could have been explained years ago in the Bible of reincarnation. Because they would say, well, if you don't go to heaven, you don't go to hell, you go to purgatory, which is this limbo. You're in this state. And then eventually when you overcome that, you come back and you get back in the cycle of going to heaven or hell. This is somewhat of a mental concoction we can see. And this is what happens when you change books. When you edit books, then everything changes. The philosophy changes. And this is the issue that we're trying to prevent with the Prabhupada Disciples Association, Hare Krishna Society. Don't change anything. because when you change, it becomes distorted and manipulated for various reasons by different materially minded people. Yes, Maya. That's what it is. People are in Maya. They don't want to hear that the illusion is all pervading. They don't want to hear it. And it's hard to hear sometimes. But anyway, this goes on. And I posted a section here where Prabhupada does explain, like he did today in the purport, the different changing bodies. Srila Prabhupada emphasizes that this number is fixed and unchanging, that life forms are constantly rotating through these different species as part of the cycle of birth and rebirth. Here is a more detailed breakdown. 900,000 aquatics. Trees and plants, 2 million. Insects and reptiles, 1.1 million. Birds, 1 million. Animals, quadruped, 3 million. Human beings, 400,000. This total of 8,400,000 species is a scriptural figure found in texts like Padma Purana. Prabhupada explains that the soul transmigrates through these different species based on its karma, actions and reactions. He also clarifies that this number is not limited to Earth, but applies to the entire material universe, with different planets having different combinations of other species. So this is a very succinct explanation of the afterlife, that as you sow, so shall ye reap, to quote the Christian belief, that whatever you do in this life will have effect on your future. And karma is there. It's a very serious situation that we're in. And we commit all kinds of sins. We make all kinds of mistakes. But when you take to Krishna consciousness, you develop the process of devotional service, which is akarma, without reaction. Karma, vikarma, and akarma. Vikarma are activities which are prohibited by the Shastras. For example, meat eating, killing of animals. There's a very serious reaction for killing and slaughtering animals. And there's 7 participants in the killing. And nowadays, they kill billions of animals, especially cows. And this is a great karmic sin. And it's a collective karma that the people share, especially in America, for example, where they founded McDonald's. Oh, what a successful company. What is the success? That it's guaranteeing that all these people are eating hamburgers. They used to have a sign up. It used to say years ago, back in the 60s, when I was in high school, everybody used to go to McDonald's. Oh yeah. And I think you could buy a hamburger for 8 cents or something, 10 cents. They sold some kind of a patty, who knows what it was, with a bun and some kind of thing on it. But they used to have a sign up, over 1 million sold. And then gradually, as it went along, they changed the sign. They changed it from 1 million to over 100 million sold. And then eventually it was billions sold. Now they've taken it off. There is no number because it's been unlimited. How much karma is that for everybody that's eating hamburgers? And what's going to happen to them when they die? Well, here it gives the list of different species. So you can think, oh, well, I'm going to come back and I'll be born as a human. Maybe not. I was in Mexico, and they had a compost there at the back of our kitchen, and then I went over and looked at it. And the heat there is very high. And So I looked in the compost and there were all these maggots. And I looked at it, I went, oh God, can you imagine being born as a maggot? Can you? People are worried about things. They should be worried about what will happen to them at the time of death. That's what they should be worried about. And try to listen humbly to the truth that we're speaking here in these classes about a variety of matters. Yes, many things we discuss, because life is serious. And birth and death, it comes and goes like this. Oh, light on, light off. People think they'll just live on. No. And this is mercy, to tell the truth, not to lie or misrepresent. The fact of the matter, we're in a cycle of birth and death called samsara. Do you understand that, everyone? Or do you think, not me? Is that what you think? Oh, not me. My mother has died. My father has died. My friends are died. My sister has died. My cousin has died. But guess what? What? I won't die. That's the reality that we, all of us, including myself, all of us, face. That we are an illusion. And we have a chance to get out by taking shelter of Srila Prabhupada in his Vani incarnation, because Prabhupada is here with us. Christianity has no explanation. They don't, but people believe them. Oh yeah. I believe I'll go to heaven. I'll believe I'll go to hell. What is hell? Some kind of, it's described what hell is in the Bhagavatam in detail. The lower there's the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems in every universe, and there are billions of universes. Can you understand Krishna? Can you? No. It's impossible to understand Krishna's potency. I'm reading the Krishna book right now. As all of you know, and it was very interesting, I was reading this morning again about the lifting of Govardhan Hill. Is it easy to understand these transcendental pastimes? No, it's not. One who can easily get out of this material world, but it's not automatic. It requires total surrender. Prabhupada demonstrated it by his practical life, how he was totally surrendered to the mission of Lord Chaitanya. And we apologize for our enthusiasm to promote this and expose the hypocrites. Sorry, but that goes on. Because we're in the Kali Yuga, the iron age of quarrel and hypocrisy. This is a difficult time. And we are all on a time sequence that could end. People are talking about it a lot, Yaśodā-nandana, these days, that there could be a nuclear war. I was on the morning walk when Prabhupada said that in Mayapur. Soon there could be a nuclear war. Well, what are you going to do then? Think about things? Oh, I don't like this, I like that. I want to go here, I want to travel. That's all over. Nuclear war means done. Nuclear devastation. And they're worried about it. As you know, Yaśodā-nandana and Ram Raghava, they're worried about it because there's a situation right now between America, Israel, and Iran. And people are saying, well, the world's going to end. Do we know for sure when or what? We don't know. But we do know that if we take shelter of devotional service, if we take shelter of the holy name, and we take shelter of Prabhupada's Vani incarnation, we're protected. There is no protection. Padam padam vipadam natesham. There was recently a plane wreck in India. And I saw some pictures come up, Ram Raghava, on social media. Of course, I'm Everything's on social media, everything. It's broadcast to tens of millions of people, billions, what the reality of life is. But I saw the picture, it was tragic, terrible. And this plane went down and nobody thought, oh, I'm going to get in this plane and everything will be all right. I'll just get to my destination. They didn't, because padam padam vipadam natesham. There is danger at every step. And this is the reality of the material world. And this is the idea. Let's all join together and work cooperatively. No fighting, please. We are not fighting with people. We are fact-finding, and we are telling people, let's work together to spread Krishna consciousness. And moving forward, we wanted to invite you all to please send your Vyas Puja offering into our program so we can post it. And we are also proud to announce that we have officially landed the Srimad Bhagavatams in America, and we're preparing to store them and then circulate them for distribution throughout the world. And we're looking for people to help us. That is positive. Some people say, well, what do you do? Well, we do a lot. We produce these shows. We have over 3 years of shows. Committed shows. We don't stop. That's thousands of hours of effort. We arrange the publication of the Bhagavatam. We're happy to do this. We're not looking for glorification of anything. And we don't want anybody's money. No money. We don't want any number of disciples. Not interested. I know we're not interested. We don't want your karma. No, thank you. Go give it to somebody else if you want. We're not interested. The only interest we have is that we work together, cooperatively, to protect Prabhupada's legacy. That's our business. And you can judge an action by its results. And in this way, this is called a karma, vikarma, prohibitive activities, which are like meat eating and the rest of it. There's lots of prohibitive things that we shouldn't do. Then there is karma, action and reaction from actions that you perform in this life. And then there's a karma, devotional service to the spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. And in this way, we as a group can elevate ourselves out of this entanglement. It's terrible, isn't it? I always say this, just look at this thing. This body of blood, pus, stool, and urine. You think you're some big shot. But at any moment, it can erupt with some kind of disease, like cancer or whatever. This is a serious situation. So we apologize if we're a little bit blunt, but our intention is to spread the truth without adulteration. And we're going to move forward with our next section, which is time and circumstance, a section that Yaśodā-nanda is going to speak on, and give us some more insight on Prabhupada's transcendental position as the pure devotee spiritual master. Hare Krishna.
Well, thank you for this. We are reading from Time, Place, and Circumstances, which was a compilation by several devotees in 1993 in Badger, California. We are on page number 5, the exalted and unique position, please go up, of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupāda. During the manifested presence of the Founder-Ācārya Srila Prabhupada, he adjusted certain scriptural injunctions according to time, place, and circumstances. He never changed the Shastra or the essence of the Shastra. He never deviated from the Shastra and he never twisted the Shastra. He simply adjusted the formalities. While he successfully preached Krishna consciousness all over the world, many critics leveled false accusations against Srila Prabhupada. Some so-called Hindus, caste brahmanas, and some of Srila Prabhupada's godbrothers criticized him for some of his apparent unprecedented activities. All of these activities must be first understood with the basic understanding that the empowered pure devotee Acharya never manufactures anything which is not given in the Shastra, and that the empowered Acharya's statements are as good as Shastra. The bona fide spiritual master never manufactures or presents anything which is not mentioned in the Vedic literatures. This is a statement by Srila Prabhupada. Let me get the exact quotation here. This is from Sri Ishopanishad, Mantra 13, page 65. Srila Prabhupada adjusted the formalities of worship and initiations according to time, place, and circumstances. This is under the direction of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only the topmost devotee situated in full love of Godhead, a bona fide, fully realized Uttamadhikari, can do this. He did not change the essence of the Shastras. A neophyte, either Kanishta neophyte or Madhyam or neophyte, does not have the power to do this. Srila Prabhupada explains these principles in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 8, Text 54. Quote, one has to consider the particular time, country, and conveniences. What is convenient in India may not be convenient in the Western countries. Those who are not actually in the line of acharyas, who have personally no knowledge how to act in the role of acharya, unnecessarily criticize the activities of the ISKCON movement in countries outside of India. The fact is that such critics cannot do anything personally to spread Krishna consciousness. If someone does go and preach, taking all risk and allowing all consideration for time and place, it might be that there are changes in the manner of worship, but that is not faulty according to the Shastra. Here are several examples of some of these so-called unprecedented activities, and you can see where this is going to lead. Those people that criticize Srila Prabhupada's arrangement for initiations for the aftermath of his departure, this is all dealing with this, why Prabhupada made these adjustments. Number one, Srila Prabhupada crossed the ocean by boat. This is technically forbidden in the Vedas. Srila Prabhupada explained this in the Vaisishya Astakam, Falgun Krishna Panchami in 1961. Hindus are not allowed to cross the ocean, but you send your devotees overseas to preach. So this is from, again, from what we've quoted here. However, Srila Prabhupada explains, just like formerly, Parivrajata, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu walked on the street. There was no aeroplane. He did not use it. Does it mean that I shall have to follow that? I must take the jet engine if it is available. If somebody criticizes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu walked on the leg and you're traveling in a jet plane, shall I have to take that idea? Ideal? These are all rascaldom. When you have to work with the greatest facility, that is all. Number two, Srila Prabhupada gave many first initiations or Harinama initiations by mail without first personally and physically examining the prospective disciple. He had his temple presidents and senior devotees do the training and actual recommendations on his behalf. The Shastra, Hari Bhakti Vilas, states that a prospective disciple should physically live with the Guru for 1 year, and the Guru should carefully examine the disciple for 1 year before initiations. The real purpose is to introduce Deva Varna Ashrama, as explained by Srila Prabhupada. Then we are quoting here from a lecture from Srila Prabhupada on Bhagavad-gītā on March 29, 1971 in Bombay, India. But as far as we are concerned, we are trying to establish Daiva Varna Ashrama, as it is instructed by the Goswamis, by Hari Bhaktivedanta, by our spiritual master. May not be very perfect, but we are trying our best to introduce this Daiva Varna Ashrama. So we'll leave it at that for now and continue. The point is that these adjustments by Srila Prabhupada were meant to promote Krishna consciousness and the Krishna consciousness movement. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, this is very insightful because his situation was based on his practical experience with his godbrothers in the Gaudiya Math. And this warning was given to us in many letters and many Shastric points that you have to, we have to study and understand without any confusion, that criticism is going to be there. We are not criticizing people. We're explaining the facts. Yeah, there are things as facts. But we are criticized. Oh, yes. I told one godbrother, I thought, I don't think I could go to Mayapur. I don't think it would be safe for me. And he said, no, don't worry. I could take you. And he's got a triple black belt in karate. And he'll guard me. I goes, oh, well, I guess a gun won't help, though. They shoot me, I'll be dead. So, I don't think I'll go because everybody knows my position or our position in terms of the Gaudiya Math Part 2. It's a sad state, and it's real. Just think about it, Ram Raghava? We've got over 150 years between the three of us. And then some neophyte is going to come and say, do you really know what you're talking about? I don't think you should do that. Okay, that's okay, I understand. But remember, be humble. Try to understand what this reality is. And we're sharing it with people so that they can understand and won't be deceived. And anyway, we'll move forward, because this program has many ingredients in it. We're going to ask one of our members from Dallas, Texas. And by the way, we're trying to get the books over there for you, and you can distribute them to your group there in Dallas, Dharma Bhavana.
Okay.
That donated for the, gave some money, whatever it was, for the publication of the Delhi Bhagavatams. And you could see at Krishna Katha's photo there. You can't see him, but you can see the Bhagavatams. Oh, there he is, the mystery man behind it. And these Delhi Bhagavatams are in our possession, and we're going to be getting them out to the people that donated. And if you're still interested in participating, we will be posting them online for sale, so you'll be able to get them and distribute them to your family and friends and all the sincere seekers of truth that are looking for original books. And these books are totally unchanged. Dharma Bhavana, go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. Yeah, just how much reflecting how many of the older devotees have been studying the different topics and issues for 25, 30 years, maybe even more. And it's but some of the younger devotees may kind of scratch their heads and say, how could a transcendental movement and mission with all the different literatures and kind of go through such changes and degradation over a period of many years? And it's almost like unimaginable, but at the same time, it seems Krishna is just telling us that this is what happens in Kali Yuga. And it's giving us the devotional service that we have to associate together and increase our faith, because by faith, we have this historical understanding of what takes place. But it's still kind of an almost unimaginable thing, even those devotees who have been studying this for 30 years. That's
Well,
my
how long
short
have you
comment.
been a devotee? How old are you?
74.
When did you join the mission?
72, I got my first initiation.
Okay, so 74. So that's 52 years?
Yeah, 52, yeah.
Okay, forget 30. It's 52. Sorry.
52, okay.
So you've been around for a long time, and that's why we have you speak, because you speak from experience. And this is very valuable. Experience is tangible. Mental speculation is not. It's interesting to note, everyone, that I'm in a cut. If you go on the posts on social media, which I do, I'm waging war there of truth, waging war. So Ram Raghava, someone put up a criticism of what I said. Well, you don't have a right to say this and that, and this isn't the way a Vaishnava should speak and be this way. So I asked my standard question. I said, well, who are you anyway? What is your devotional history? Well, no answer. It's got no history. So then I asked another question. Well, by the way, how old are you? And guess what the answer was? 16. Oh, so you're 16 years old. You have no experience at all, but you're telling us that we're wrong and we're in Maya and this is a mistake. Neophytism. That's what we've got. We've got a whole movement of neophytes, inexperienced people that are not aware of the realities, and we're explaining it, and we hope you appreciate it. Let's move forward. I wanted to ask Krishna Kata if he could basically explain a few things about the planned distribution of the Bhagavatams, the Delhi Bhagavatams, since we're doing it. Go ahead, Krishna Kata.
Well, Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for this amazing format.
There he is.
Hare
The Jack in the
Krishna.
Box.
Yeah, so because of the volume of this first order is it's important to right now handle the ground logistics. So they've arrived by ship, as you spoke, and so they're going to be located in one location first, and then from there in 3 locations, and then from there they're going to be mailed out. And the good news is the 3 locations that they're going to be at are all very close to United States Post Office. Why not? So by medium mail, they'll begin to go across the United States, Canada, Europe, South America, the Eastern Bloc countries, just everywhere that everyone is greedily wanting to have a set. And when I say greedily, this is the proper mindset of real greed. You want to get your hands on these and begin to study, which we do every Sunday is the Bhagavatam class. So I think the importance of this distribution is not possible to comprehend until you study these books and you find that everything is in the first canto. Prabhupada made that statement, that everything you need to know is in the first canto. And so he did that because he didn't know how long he was going to be in his manifested presence. So these are gems. These are directly spoken by Krishna. And they were even printed by Prabhupada. There's a pastime where he would go and help the actual printing and binding. And these are perfect replicas of the books that he brought with him on the steamship called the Jaladuta in trunks. And he distributed these books personally when he landed on the East Coast, Boston and New York. And I know of a few elder devotees that still have original pristine copies with Prabhupada's signature inside the books. And I asked for a copy to scan, and of course I was met with a big nope. They don't want these books to be touched by anyone because they're so valuable. So we have a very, very nice replication. I mean, first class. And everyone is just so fortunate to get these books. And we hope this isn't the first time. We want to reorder and reorder and reorder, because these are touchstones. This is the way back home, back to Godhead, right? The original Macmillan Bhagavad-gītā, the first canto, the Delhi Bhagavatams. I know that we're looking at Easy Journey to Other Planets. So we have great distribution plans, and these are Krishna's plans, Srila Prabhupada's plans. A devotee once said to me, he's in Thailand, and he said, if you ever want to make Krishna laugh, tell him your plan. We have so many plans as, tiny souls in human bodies, but Krishna's plan is always the plan that is manifested. And so even though we might look at this entire endeavor and how long it's taken to finally get this first load of books now on the ground, after being on the ship for 90 days, after looking for printers and so many things, now they're going to be distributed. So this has always been Krishna's plan from the start, and he's just looking to see which souls are interested in participating, right? Who wants to be on this devotional service ship? And I'm hanging on, thanks to you and Yaśodā, I am just hanging on to this ship, because it's the only thing that enlivens me. I have so much going on in my life. There are 100 plates that I'm spinning, and none of them are actually important except for this one. This is the only important endeavor that I engage in as much as I can. So I'm hanging on. This is the real way to water the Bhakti Lata Bij, is to be engaged in this service. Whether you just buy one set or you buy multiple sets and distribute them properly, and then follow up with whom you've distributed to. Right? This has always been what Prabhupada wanted from the beginning, is don't just give them away. People will see that they are cheap. You want to reconnect with those people, those jivas, those souls, and say, how's it going? How's the study of the first canto? And get that conversation going and share realizations. This is the nectar of what Prabhupada has given us, is to extract everyone's realizations as feedback from having this gemstone set of books in your house. So that's my takeaway from how amazing that we finally have them coming to us. And so anyway, thank you for allowing me to speak. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Haribo, well, thank you. And I wanted to compliment you and our group, all of us actually, for taking up this service. That's what we're doing. And this is Ācārya, activity with no reaction, devotional service, which is on the transcendental platform of existence. Yes, it's an eternal service to propagate the glories of the Lord from the lips of the pure devotee to people who are lost in this material world due to the influence of Maya. So this is a great opportunity for all of us. And we're going to move forward with our next section of the program. Ram Raghava, we're going to have the kirtan and then Prabhupada speak?
Lecture first.
Okay. So let's hear from Srila Prabhupada, this short lecture.
And I have
yes,
I have a
go
quick
ahead.
question.
Go ahead.
By the way, on YouTube Live, there were up to 13 people watching at one time, no questions. But I have a question that might be of interest for general interest of people. Many years ago, I was talking to somebody about karma. And when we read the Bhagavad-gītā verse today in the purport,
Yeah.
it reminded me, because we were talking about karma and suffering and enjoyment. So the question is, instant karma. John Lennon had a song, that one of the Beatles, he had a song called Instant Karma. So
Yes.
somebody had asked, why didn't Krishna make karma instant so that people wouldn't do wrong things? Why is it that you don't get the result right away so that people wouldn't do the bad things that happen in this world?
Okay, Yaśodā, maybe you could answer for us, please.
Oh, because not all karma results are experienced immediately. That's the natural, there's a natural sequence. Some of the karma that we're experiencing now is due to past activities. And the body that we have is due to karma that we had in a previous life. And we're generating karma all the time in this world. So the reactions to the karma is not immediate, but sometimes it's immediate. Like if you drive the wrong way on the highway, you may get immediate karma. You may get a vehicle hitting you right in the front. So there are, in the Nectar of Devotion, there is a discussion by Rupa Goswami, Bhaktivedanta Sindhu, about the origin of karma, or some of this karma has not yet fructified. So this is very important to understand. But the vikarma, or the sinful activities or the forbidden activities which are performed, some of these activities will be manifested later in the next life, like the killing of animals, the harming of children, the killing of children in the womb. You may not get immediate karma, although in this life, because, for example, if you eat the wrong type of foods, you might get very sick. We see in the Bhagavad-gītā, there is discussion according to foods, according to 3 modes of material nature. Foods in a mode of ignorance, foods in a mode of passion, and foods in a mode of goodness. So there is a different kind of karma that is generated by all these 3 different categories. Most people eat food in the mode of passion and ignorance. And even for devotees, because we've been preaching that you can't manufacture a new way of offering the bhoga that is not authorized by Srila Prabhupada. So people are thinking, I'm eating prasadam. Well, prasadam according to what? According to whose authorization? This is very important. It's like the issue of kirtan. We've been harping on this point and talking about this. Last night yesterday I was discussing with Vishwakarma, that during Prabhupada's manifested presence, we didn't have kirtan on the street with harmonium and harmonicas and all that. No. Prabhupada wrote one letter to the temple president of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, Bahudak Das. I sent that letter today to Ram Raghava. Let me see if I can pull out and quote directly from it. And this is very important for devotees. Many devotees do not understand. Because what happens, many devotees are thinking, oh, I'm just chanting Hare Krishna. Well, that's nice. But when you go to the public, this is a letter from Bahudak on January 11th, 1976. January 11th, 1976. Prabhupada says, it is good that you're again the president of the Vancouver Temple. Of course, the farm projects are important, but more stress should be given to Sankirtana. We require so much money here in India. So Jayatirtha has said, right, whatever we are doing in India is from the BBT fund. Continue to go out on Sankirtana. Example is better than precept. The harmonium may be played during bhajan if there is someone who can play melodiously, but it is not for kirtan and arti. Let me just repeat that because some devotees don't seem to get it. The harmonium may be played during bhajan if there is someone who can play melodiously, but it is not for kirtan and arti. Now, this is an important point. You got people all over the movement on Facebook putting up these videos with these public Sankirtan disobeying Prabhupada's instruction. Even in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, I don't know if they had harmonium in those days. I don't think they did. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the example, 4 mridanga, 16 kartals. There's a standard that is set by the Acharya. The Sampradaya Acharya, the current Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, sets the standard how to do public kirtan. What we have is a false misrepresentation of Prabhupada's instruction. They should stop that, do kirtan with mridangas and kartals. Now, going back to this point about karma, if one disobeys the instruction of the spiritual master, one cannot delude in himself thinking, well, I'm a devotee, there's going to be no reaction. Well, think again. There will be reaction. Many of these reactions are directly happening right now in front of us. Some people see it, some people don't. Some people realize it easily, some people don't realize it. So it's important to understand, we see Shastra Chakshusha. We see everything through the agency of the Shastra, the scriptures. This is very important. Just like right now behind Ram Raghava's head, there's a whole set of Bhagavatams. This is how we see, this is how we understand how to behave, how to act, how to conduct ourselves. And the reason we are reading, because somebody asked me, why are you reading these articles and these things criticizing people? Well, first of all, it's not meant as a criticism. It's meant as education materials to properly understand Srila Prabhupada's position. Because many people don't understand. I had somebody yesterday saying, oh, this is all bogus, this Ritvika, this is all bogus. Here's a lecture from Prabhupada. Okay, that's nice and good. So how many other lectures did Prabhupada say about this topic? We cannot have people pick and choose, cherry picking and say, here's a quote out of context, and then start insulting devotees. Everybody is entitled to their realization. Everybody is entitled to their views, their devotional views, but don't come and try to insult other devotees when somebody is explaining Prabhupada's arrangement for initiations. I believe we have somebody from Belarus, Ram Raghava, Maxim Prabhu, who may have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Maxine. Haribo. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
Haribo.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Good, good. Go ahead.
Well, I'm Russian and not good on English, but I try to ask. I know that Abhimanyu Prabhu lives in your ashram. Is that right?
He comes and goes. I just talked to him this morning. He's in LA today. So he's here. I got the latest news. He's on admission.
You are talking a lot about printing original books on English, and I am, as a Russian speaking devotee, I'm interested in, as you are speaking with and have contact with Abhimanyu, he is planning to translate original books on Russian and spread it on Russia, Belarus, Russian language countries, or he are planning to finish with English books first, and then only he planning to translate it, or maybe he is have some work on translation this time already.
Okay, here's the Gita he did. I'll show it to you. I have one. He gave me one as a present. This is it. It's quite nice. It's quite beautiful. It's authentic. Yeah, we have them. We'll divert just for a second. He discovered, he left here with the head of the Sankirtan party from Los Angeles, who's moved out of Los Angeles for whatever reason. And he left and he went to New York Ratha Yatra. So he was there, he reported there what went on. I won't go into it, it's all kinds of details. But from there he went to Washington to the Copyright Office, and then he went down to Prabhupada Village to the archives to have a meeting with Ekanath. So he got some information. He's going to call me later. But he found out this, just so everybody knows, this BBT, so-called BBT, is all controlled now by a fellow called Suvas from LA. And it's all registered in Florida now. They moved it out of California. And he said that Gopal Bhatta, who used to be working with ISKCON, has now dropped out because he sees all the corruption that's there. the manipulation of these copyrights by certain self-motivated individuals, and that the whole thing is an entire fraud. The whole thing. And he's going ahead and he's going to register different documents this week. He's in Los Angeles, so that the copyrights, will be in a legal position to control them. We have to see how it unfolds. It's complicated, very fraudulent, the whole thing, and unfortunate. So as far as him printing in English, I believe that's his goal. I don't know for sure that he wants to print, provided the legal documents are registered in America, and then from there move forward step by step in his plans to produce them in Russian. So and not only in Russian, we want them to be printed in all the languages without any adulteration or change. So you can imagine what a complicated, complex situation this has become. Very, it requires so much money, so much cooperation, so much legal and support that, let's say, we'll have to see what Krishna arranges. But one thing is for sure, when you read the Krishna book, no matter what was happening in terms of the demons trying to kill Krishna and kill the devotees, Krishna always protected the devotees from all difficulty. Whether it was the Kaliya serpent or Denakashura or Putana witch, whatever these problems were, Krishna was there to solve them and protect his devotees. And we are here to try to serve Prabhupada and get Krishna's attention. And hopefully Krishna will help us in this lifetime to do some rectification of this unfortunate situation that's come about. And we're going to move forward. I hope that helps. We're going to move forward with the next section of our program. Haribo. Good. Keep going.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. And just for the information
go ahead, please. Yeah, go ahead.
Just for the information of all the devotees, I'm just assisting Rupa Goswami Prabhu. And so the next part of the program is going to be, we're going to have the Srila Prabhupada lecture, then the Srila Prabhupada Kirtan, then 10 offenses by Rupa Goswami Prabhu, and then Japa, and then the end.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Prabhu, so hang in. We'll keep going. If you have to go, we understand. Otherwise, stay on board. Haribo.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam. Everyone, we are imperfect. We are very much proud of our eyes. Can you show me? What qualification your eyes have got that you can see? He does not think that I have no qualification, still I want to see. These eyes are dependent on so many conditions. Now there is electricity, you can see. As soon as there is electricity off, you cannot see. Then what is the value of your eyes? You cannot see what is going on beyond this wall. So don't believe your so-called senses as the source of knowledge. No. The source of knowledge should be by hearing. That is called Shruti. Therefore, Veda's name is Shruti. Shruti Pramana. Shruti Pramana. Just like a child or a boy wants to know who is his father. So what is the evidence? That evidence is Shruti, hearing from the mother. Mother says, he is your father. So he hears, he does not see how he became his father. Because before his body was constructed, the father was there, so how could he see? So by seeing, you cannot ascertain who is your father. You have to hear from the authority. The mother is the authority. Therefore, Shruti Pramana, the evidence is hearing, not by seeing. Seeing our imperfect eyes, there are so many obstacles. So similarly, by direct perception, you cannot have the truth. Direct perception is speculation. Dr. Frog is speculating what is Atlantic Ocean. He is in the well, 3 feet well, and some friend informed me, oh, I have seen vast water. What is that vast water? Atlantic Ocean. How big it is? Very, very big. So the Dr. Frog is thinking, maybe 4 feet. This well is 3 feet, it may be 4 feet, all right, 5 feet. Come on, 10 feet. So in this way speculating, the frog, Dr. Frog will understand Atlantic Ocean or Pacific Ocean. Can you estimate the length and breadth of the Atlantic Pacific Ocean by speculation? So by speculation you cannot have. They are speculating so many years about this universe. How many stars are there, what is the length and breadth, where is the... Nobody knows anything, even of the material world. And what to speak of the spiritual world, that is beyond, far beyond. Parastasmatu bhavanya bhaktya sanatana, infinity, Bhagavad-gītā. There is another nature. This nature, what you see, the sky, around dome, that above that, there are layers of 5 elements. Again, this is the covering. Just like you have seen the coconut, there is hard covering. And within the covering, there is water. Similarly, within this covering, and outside the covering, there are 5 layers, 1,000 times bigger than the one another. Water layer, air layer, fire layer. So you have to penetrate all these layers, then you will get the spiritual world. All these universes, unlimited number, koti. Jasaprabha prabhavato jagadanna koti. Jagadanna means the universe. Koti. Many millions clustered together. That is material world. And beyond that material world, there is spiritual world, another sky. That is also sky. That is called Parabham. So, by your sense perception, you cannot estimate even what is there in the moon planet or sun planet, this planet, within this universe. How you can understand the spiritual world by speculation. This is foolishness. That Shastra says, Achinta khalu jivāvā natastarki no jujay. Achinta, which is inconceivable, beyond your sense perception. Don't try to argue and understand it and speculate. This is foolishness. It is not possible. Therefore, we have to go to the Guru. Tad vijñānātham sa gurumeva avivacche. Samitpani Sutriyam Brahmanishtam. This is the process.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like these are trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Thanks everybody for participating in this lively discussion and reading from Srimad Bhagavad-gītā. Thanks Vishwakarma Prabhu in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, Ram Raghava in Georgia, Rochisa Mataji in Montreal, Canada, Krishna Katha Prabhu in San Diego, California, Bhaktin Veronica in Italy, Bhakta Makshin Prabhu in Belarus. We have Pier Angelo in Switzerland, Michael Dillon in Yuba City, Rupa Goswami Prabhu in Mumbai, India, and everybody else participates. Forest Temple with the beautiful hats in Baja California, Mexico. Radharani with a very unique hairstyle and beautiful pom-pom there. Triloka Vijay in Alachua, Florida. Bhaktin Amber in Florida. Roy in Mississippi. Bhaktin Yunus in Georgia. And Shiv Narana Prabhu in Japan, and everybody else participating. Thank you for participating in this program. We invite you to come back tomorrow morning for Srimad Bhagavatam reading and discussion at 7 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time, corresponding to 10 a.m. USA Eastern Born Time. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 8, Offenses to be Avoided. The offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. First, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Second, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Sometimes the atheistic class of men take it that any demigod is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. But one who is a devotee knows that no demigod, however great he may be, is independently as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, if someone thinks that he can chant Kali, Kali or Durga, Durga, and it is the same as Hare Krishna, that is the greatest offense. Third, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Fourth, to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. Fifth, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Sixth, to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. Seventh, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. Because by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can be freed from all kinds of sinful reactions. It should not be taken that one may continue to act sinfully and after that chant Hare Krishna to neutralize his sins. Such a dangerous mentality is very offensive and should be avoided. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities. Karma Kanda. 9th, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Anyone can take part in chanting the holy name of the Lord, but in the beginning one should not be instructed about the transcendental potency of the Lord. Those who are too sinful cannot appreciate the transcendental glories of the Lord, and therefore it is better not to instruct them in this matter. 10th, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names, and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Every devotee who claims to be a this
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakti Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram Ram Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Ram Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare.
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Ram
Hare
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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.